welcome to the Gaming Discourse. I'm Tyler Frater alongside Richard De La Cruz.
Good morning.
And Chief Engineer Lieutenant Commander Connor Frater.
Hello again.
It is us.
It is us, and we
just
are
the two of us.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we
this
try.
This show, it takes two.
Owned by Take-Two Interactive. This is the second week of hosting the Gaming Discourse. Tyler is on vacation. He will be back hopefully next week.
Yep.
You can follow us on youtube.com/gaming discourse or Twitter at twitter.com/the gaming discourse, I believe. Mm-hmm. You can also catch our podcasts on Spotify
and everywhere else there is podcasts.
Perfect.
Yep.
It's simple. Yep. I don't have to remember anything. We're here to bring you the news that has happened throughout the last week. But before that, we usually get to what we've been playing. Have you been up to anything?
Deathloop.
Yeah.
I've just been playing Deathloop.
How much of it have you been playing?
I mean, I pick it up every now and then because, you know, I'm only playing it when I'm here.
Sure.
So I've really only put about 6-7 hours into it.
That's not a bad chunk of time.
No. And I'm enjoying it, except for, like I was telling you before the podcast, the forced multiplayer Juliana invasions. That's just
right at the start. At least
I wouldn't mind if I had mouse and keyboard, because I'm better on mouse and keyboard than I am a controller.
Naturally.
I have yet to like fine tune the controller settings to be like the sensitivity I need for anything. So I'll be playing and I'll just be going through just sniping off the random Eternalists, and then I go to the next area and Juliana. I'm like, oh great. Shoot, where am I controlling?
Yes. And it doesn't tell you where she is, so it is also kind of the anxiety, at least when I played, ramped up. Mm-hmm. And I would like be in corners, like kind of just like waiting to see where she would pop up, if she ever popped up.
Yeah.
So I know how that is, and I couldn't imagine having that feeling knowing that there is another player on the other side.
Yeah.
Because everyone is better than me.
Yeah, for real. And you just informed me that I can change it to friends only, and I have a singular friend on PlayStation.
That'll ensure that you never encounter anyone.
So I might get the easiest Deathloop run from here on out.
Yeah, you could only hope.
I don't know if it'll like auto generate like an Juliana AI.
It does.
It does. Okay.
It does, but it's few and far between.
Okay.
But it sometimes it does happen when you don't want it to.
I mean, it always happens when I just don't want it to happen.
Right. There is a. I know you don't care, and I don't know if Tyler will listen to this week, but if he does, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Skip to 5 minutes 28 seconds.
There, sure. There is a character that you go hunt down who has something called. Well, now I can't remember what it's called, but basically it causes her to become twice as powerful. Well, when you go find her, she lives above a nuclear reactor.
Oh, jeez.
So when you get seen, when the encounter like starts and she recognizes that you're there, she immediately starts the timer for it. And so you can either kill her, kill everyone in there very quickly, because it will go off before you can kill all of them sometimes. And then go to the reactor, and you have to have found a document that tells you which cables to cut in which order to like shut it down. Or you could just kill her before she even activates it.
Since we still haven't said the timestamp yet, which one is that? So I know not to go right after this podcast, because I just found a gun I really like and I want to infuse it, and I don't want to die in a nuclear explosion.
Got it. It's Fia. Her name is? It's Fia. Okay.
I figured it was her because she seems the most batshit insane.
Yeah. So it was. She is. Yeah. Exactly. And so when I was sneaking into her area and I was in the nuclear reactor room, I was getting caught by internalists that were in there, and then them seeing me causes her to see me. So she started the nuclear reactor, and when she started the nuclear reactor, it was like Juliana is on the hunt, and it was like, you fucking. And so like Juliana was in the room along with her, along with the internalists, and it was
along with the nuclear reactor.
Yes, and I couldn't get to it, and it blew up. So game over.
Yeah.
You know, you got to start the day again. But it was a neat little like.
I wonder what happens if you have all 3 lives left and the nuclear reactor goes off. You just spawn in and then die from radiation poisoning.
That would be cool if it was like like an Easter egg that would happen. Because I mean, it's a nuclear reactor. It blows up the whole island. It doesn't just blow up her area.
Yeah.
It takes out everything. So that would be cool. I don't know. Because I think I was on my last one. But anyways.
Yeah.
You got that time stamped?
Yeah, I got
Perfect.
it.
Perfect.
I'll splice it in later.
Was that all you've been playing? Deathloop?
Yeah. Oh, no, I did play a little bit of Halo Infinite.
Oh, cool. Multiplayer or
single
campaign?
player.
Okay.
And I need to play a little bit more to confirm my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stands right now, to me, looks like Halo, sounds like Halo. It kind of plays like Halo, but it doesn't feel like Halo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's just I'm not even sure if RPG is the right term for it. But
I don't think so.
But that section of the game.
The first two levels?
No, like the
I guess open world aspect of it.
Well, the open world, the
upgrades,
the resource gain, the Far Cry style, go capture and clear out the FOBs.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a Halo game to me.
Okay, yes.
It feels like they started a game and they're like, hey, let's make it a Halo.
Okay.
And then they transposed everything into the Halo universe. And one thing that really sticks out is that this may have been like stuff may have been retroactively added in, is like with the grappling hook. The grappling hook seems like they just wanted to add a new cool feature to Halo, because Halo's been doing that. Halo 1, it's the base game. Halo 2, now you have dual wielding.
Yes.
That was a cool new feature.
Yeah.
The grappling hook, by and large, by itself, cool.
Yes.
I like it. It's unique. But in the open world, it seems like its use becomes limited to helping you move through the map quicker.
Until you upgrade it.
Yeah. Which, again, I haven't got that far.
Right.
But it feels like outside of combat and outside of, exploring, the linear parts of the maps.
Yeah.
When you're in the open world and you don't have a vehicle, it just feels like it's links
that is
roll forward
to help you. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Which
I use it for that.
Yeah. And people I've talked to, they say they use it for that. And it feels like that they used it as an ability, as a way to not make an excuse for having an open world, but to since we're, making the character move faster now, we can make the world bigger.
Yes.
And I don't know, for me, that just feels less Halo-y. Yes, ODST, Halo 3 ODST
was open world.
Was open world, but it was like open linear. It was just a wider map.
Yeah, there's a difference between open world and sandbox.
Yeah.
Whereas like Mafia 2 is a sandbox game. It is a city that you can run around in, but you can't do everything in it. You can only do specific things. Whereas Halo ODST is kind of have this open world, but it's you go to where you need to go.
Point A to point B, and there's like 6 paths you can take.
Yeah. I think that is a consequence of the open world genre and how it's evolved throughout the years. Nowadays, like it's all the same thing. You open up your map, where are these places? How I have to retake it from whoever.
Yeah.
And then, there's stuff I can find throughout the world, which is kind of just something that I think has been around so long that I kind of accepted. And that's why, I've also been playing Halo Infinite. Actually, I've only been playing Halo Infinite, so I could talk about this too. But yeah, I think that's a big problem, is that it all feels the same. And I understand that doesn't feel like Halo. I get what you mean. I also feel like it's as close to being Halo without going too far into Call of Duty. And I already said that last week. But I don't know what else they could have done besides this, because they could have made
all the Halo elements are there. It's just the combination and the percentages of them and the things they added in makes it feel less Halo-y. And maybe that's just me, becoming a crotchety old man and be like, it's not my Halo.
Sure.
But,
Yeah, Yeah, and I can get it because there is stuff to dislike about it. It is a lot more difficult, which isn't a problem. But I do find myself doing that weird thing to where my health shields are low. I'm just jumping around like a maniac trying to avoid, shots coming at me. But at the same time, it is great to kind of hit that grappling hook on a tree, shoot yourself up, and land in the middle of grunts and elites and brutes and just start blasting away at everybody.
Again, like if we had like, let's forget 4 and 5 exist. Let's say this was Halo 4. You just have the continuation of the story, and they added the grappling hook. They kept the linear levels, like the opener linear levels that Halo has generally always had.
Yeah, Halo 1. I mean, honestly, this feels like just a bigger Halo 1. For the first level of Halo 1, just,
Yeah. Adding the grappling hook to the earlier style Halos feels like a natural progression of Halos. You have just the basic one, then adding in some more vehicle mechanics and dual wielding, adding a little bit more in vehicle mechanics, and now adding increased mobility. It's just the natural progression.
Right.
But I don't know. After 4, I kind of lost touch with Halo. I didn't play 5.
Yeah. I think probably that's why I'm a bit ecstatic about playing this one, because it's just giving me that nice feeling of the original Halos rather than like 4 and 5.
And credit where credit's due. It does play like a Halo.
Yeah.
The gunplay feels right. Playing as the Chief feels good. You still get that, rush of serotonin just beating down grunts mercilessly in thousands.
So many headshots.
So many birthdays.
He talks a hell of a lot.
He does
in this one, and I can't get enough of it because he is Mr. Military Man, and it is kind of a boring character on the onset, but I can't help but when when he just kind of makes these quips against the elites, the brutes, and how they're like, you're making a big mistake, Master Chief. No, you are. And it's like, fuck yeah, dude. like I have that.
They dipped a little bit more into the action hero.
Yes,
Doom guy.
they did. Yes, and I dig it. I really do. And I really like this new Cortana. I like the what they just call her the weapon as of now. Like, to me, it's kind of obvious that she's going to become Cortana at some point. Like, she'll assimilate with her and like cure her or something. Like, I don't see how that can't not happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But I do love that. I don't think I like. You can carry all 4 types of grenades now at the same time, and I don't think I like that because I don't like how to switch between them. Yeah, and you can carry all 4. I think there's 4 abilities you have. You have a grapple hook. You have a sensor that you can shoot.
A drop shield,
and the dash. Yeah. And I don't foresee using many of those besides maybe the dash if I were to want to get out of the way of a sniper or something. Yeah. And I do not use the threat sensor whatsoever because I see them. Yeah. I see the enemies. And
even with the invisibility, like, it's always been relatively easy to see. Like, they've always made the shimmer of like the invisibility noticeable, so that you know.
They have, and pressing down on the D-pad gives you like this like kind of like beacon search, and you can see enemies with that as well. So just do that.
It's really just an unnecessary feature that you already have access to.
Yeah. It's something that they probably just thought, hey, this would be nice to put in, but it kind of just becomes fluff. Yeah. Which is fine, but I haven't done many. I've done my part, just kind of collecting things and running around. I've been saving a lot of Marines. Marines are a blast. I love saving them. I love having them pile up in my Razorback and just take them because they are very good turrets. Yeah, they are very good automatic turrets.
Now, I remember again, Halo 1, 2, 3. There were Marines. Yeah, and you could keep them alive in firefights, and they would follow you for an extended period of time. And that's always been a blast because then you literally just have more guns.
Yeah, that's it.
You have more bullets that can be thrown out, and it's always super helpful. But personally, I feel spawning in more Marines kind of pulls away from the aspect of you're the Master Chief going around saving the people. Yeah. Now it's just like, all right, guys, I need another squad to go.
Right. Yeah.
Order 226. No one step back.
which I agree, because there are times where I've had more Marines than I can fit in my vehicle, and I'm like, oh man. So I drive off. They can die quickly if you go into a really heavy,
enemy saturated area, or
there we go.
area with larger enemies.
Yeah, but if I need to get somewhere quick and I fast travel, they all disappear, and then at the FOB where I land, there's only like 2 Marines there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, your mileage may vary on how you feel about that, but I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. I like having, because they banter a lot, and their banter is really good. So it's more entertaining, and I know that like Chief is like the guy who's always alone, and he's the one who's supposed to do it alone. So I get it. But I like it.
And some of the best parts of the first 3 Halos, there were Marines involved.
Yeah.
And it really, with Halo's not influence, but their influence, rather, not being an influence, but the influence in creating the game with Alien and Aliens, and having the Marines from that just be the Marines in Halo. Yeah. Just the personalities have always shined, because Aliens just had these larger than life personalities, and they put that in the game, and having that with this really weak human next to essentially a god of a war machine.
Yeah.
And them, taunting and calling out the aliens. It works.
It does work. And actually, now that I think about it, the kind of, for the Marines, the luster of Master Chief is kind of like rubbed away. Because I do remember in like Halo 1, 2, and 3, when Master Chief would come in and there's Marines, they'd be like, wow, it's Master Chief. Like, he's come to save us. Now, really, it's kind of like, oh, Master Chief's here. Thanks, man. Like, not that casually,
hey,
but
Chief,
it's just,
how you doing?
Yeah, right. It's like sometimes they'll be like, well, all right, here's a weapon. You could probably do more with it than I can. Like, they are humble a bit, but yeah, that whole like, wow, it's Master Chief is kind of like gone, because he's just. And
you think that would be more of a thing after the events of 3, 4, and 5?
Yeah.
3 where Chief dies, air quotes.
Yes.
But
it's what it is.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on.
We want to give a massive shout out to the sponsors of this episode. They have been silently supporting us since the very beginning, and we felt it was time to give them some love. The like and share buttons have been at our side since episode 1 of the podcast. They can be found just beneath this episode. Please give them a click, it helps us greatly. If you're feeling lucky, click the bell icon to enter for a notification anytime we post new content. You may be surprised by what you get.
Starting with the news for this week, we got a Game Awards wrap up.
We did.
Game Awards was this week. Oh, what's up?
We do the Game Awards. I said we did.
Okay, yeah, no, that's past tense, sure. So a lot of announcements happened during the Game Awards, and we also had, of course, winners and lots of trailers. I'm just going to go through some of them. If you want to chime in on what you think about them, go ahead. But we'll start with the rumors of Quantic Dream's Star Wars game is true. Star Wars Eclipse was shown off with a big CG trailer. It looks to be set in the High Republic, but we got no gameplay. It was just environmental CG effects with, some marketplaces and 2 Jedis training with each other and whatnot.
With it being Quantic Dream, are we thinking this is going to be more in line with like Detroit Becoming Human?
I don't know.
Where it's going to be more about the characters rather than the gameplay?
I don't know.
Because that's really Quantic Dream's MO. They make very like introspective games rather than flashy games.
Yeah.
Not to say that their games aren't beautiful. They're amazing. But are we looking at maybe one where it's like a more in-depth story than we've had from any Star Wars adventure so far?
I personally wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't either.
Because I think we need more of that. I don't mind the action, of course, at all, but I think that if they were to kind of come at it with the same style of gameplay as Detroit or Heavy Rain or Beyond, I think there would be hardcore Star Wars fans
that would be turned off by it.
Yeah.
And with how Quantic Dream develops their games, I wouldn't be opposed to like a really fast and like just quick paced lightsaber duel that's a QTE. Yeah. Because that one, it works for Star Wars, where it's all like quick burst maneuvers,
Right.
And two, it just better works for Quantic Dream's games.
I think so. Well, especially Quantic Dream has the, roll your eyes all you want at QTEs, but there are moments of stressful situations where you have to do QTEs to like pull something or perform an action. I think would work pretty well when it comes to using the Force.
Yeah,
particularly. I think it would work well in those situations. The lightsaber battles, they could. It's a coin flip, honestly.
Yeah,
they could do well, they could do bad, but we've not seen the game. Mm-hmm. So it's just, like I said, CG trailer. Looked beautiful.
We don't even know if you're playing as a Jedi.
Don't even know if you're playing as a Jedi. Yeah. And I said this to a couple of my friends already, but I said as I was watching the trailer, I better go to all these places.
Yeah.
Like if you're showing me this, I better go to these places. Mm-hmm. If I don't, then this trailer is useless to me.
Yeah.
But we will see. It looks like, because if I'm not mistaken, the High Republic was when things were peaceful, Jedi ruled, whatnot.
It was up until the events of episode 1.
Right. So it looks like from this, there is a evil being born of some sort that's going to kind of cause.
I mean, we know it's
within
the past 800 years of New Hope, because either there's another one of Yoda's race, or it's Yoda that was shown in
Yoda.
So it's in an 800-year time frame, which, I mean, in the context of, history isn't really anything, and especially Star Wars history.
Star Wars.
which there's like parts where it's like, well, they were at peace for 25,000 years.
Yep.
So, but narrowing it down to this section of the High Republic kind of lets us know what we're getting into.
And the good thing about that is that there are a lot of stories to tell in that time frame.
I mean, it's the Star Wars universe. There's infinite stories to tell.
There is, yeah. Especially, anyways, yes. All right. Anyways, moving on. Alan Wake 2 is also confirmed. Very happy about that myself.
10 years later.
2010 when the first Alan Wake was released. God damn.
Yeah.
So it's confirmed with a short trailer with live action footage of the main actor who plays Alan Wake. He doesn't voice him, but he plays him. Will release in 2023 and apparently will now be a survival horror title instead of a survival psychological or like a psychological thriller. But that one's can't wait. Of course, it was another just simple trailer, no gameplay. Of course, it's 2 years away, so I don't expect.
Yeah, we'll get more next summer at E3 and then next winter at the VGAs.
Yeah, hope so. New Wonder Woman games coming from Monolith. Those are the guys who did the Fear series, the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor series, Condemned. Great studio. It will apparently use the Nemesis system,
which is perfect for superhero games.
Absolutely. And it will be used for allies and enemies, apparently. And then I did not write this on our notes, but I did read today that it'll actually just take place in Themyscira.
Okay.
Like it's not gonna you won't be going to like
around the world.
Yeah, you're just sticking on Themyscira.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, if they kind of play it as like there's different factions of her, the island, like going at war with each other, I think it'll be cool. It'll be very cool. Sonic Frontiers was announced, a new open world game for Sonic. People are very excited about that, but it's his first one, so his first open world game. So.
It's always dangerous to release a new Sonic game.
It always is.
It's either an instant classic or it's Sonic 3D.
Right, but it's never the one that breaks the camel's back.
No.
It never is.
Sonic and Mario are the franchises that will never fail.
Sonic fans have a Stockholm syndrome.
They really do.
Suicide Squad showed off their very first gameplay. It's also very fast. It looked really neat. 4-player co-op, drop in and drop out. Everyone looked very cool. Captain Boomerang, very cool.
Yeah,
looks like it. But he
loved him calling out the Flash and suddenly the Flash
getting wrecked. Yes, that's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
Yes. So that looks cool. I was very interested in Nightingale. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that, but that looked really dope.
Yes. There aren't a lot of gas lamp genre games.
Yeah,
and they have the potential to be such interesting games because of that unique period of time of just technology, where technology was booming, but there was stuff that was still lagging behind. And so just the stories you can tell in that are amazing.
I think so too. And for some strange reason, it works with everything. It works with steampunk. It works with futuristic style. It works with what we're seeing now, which is like portals and weird creatures and stuff. Obviously, oh my God. Lovecraftian.
Oh yeah,
Eldritch. Yeah. That was the one I was saying. Anyways, moving on. A new story-based Star Trek game from the ex-Telltale developers. Looks like a Telltale game.
Yeah.
A little more polished up than their usuals, but I think that this is a good way to go with the Star Trek genre. We've had this discussion many times. I know Tyler's usually here to spearhead those discussions, but the Star Trek series is definitely more about the stories than it is the action.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think this could be a good one for the fans. I don't know if I'll play it, but it looks fine.
It looks good. Yeah.
They kept teasing Silent Hill crap all night.
Yeah.
Even like Guillermo del Toro was like, I hope we get another Silent Hill. And it's like, what are you doing? But anyways, the creator of Silent Hill had a new game. I think it was called Slitherhead.
Yes.
Yeah, which looked wild, although
it looks intense.
Yeah. No gameplay, but you could probably make out some things that will be in the game. But yeah, definitely looks intense. Creature designs look very creepy. Of course, Japanese-esque. Also, Slitherhead is S&H. So
yeah,
Slitherhead, whatever. Anyways, those were just some of the games that were announced. There was plenty others, but those are the ones we'll focus on for right now. As far as some of the awards, I'm going to go through some of the winners. But we're looking at Metroid Dread won Best Action Adventure, Returnal won Best Action, Deathloop won Best Art Direction, Tales of Arise Best RPG, Guardians of the Galaxy won Best Narrative, Kena Bridge of Spirits won Best Indie, which I just picked that up, so I'll get to that soon, hopefully. It's good. Maggie Robertson won Best Performance as Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil, which I am fine with, but after playing Deathloop, I really think that Colt should have won.
Colt or Juliana, one of the two.
Juliana,
the chemistry they had in the game was perfect.
It's oozing, and much props to Maggie Robertson on her performance as Lady Dimitrescu, and she was definitely the standout in the game. She was able to actually act out those things. The leads for Deathloop, it was just straight up voice acting, and it was incredibly entertaining. So, but it was still a great winner. And then It Takes Two won Game of the Year.
Rightfully so.
Sure, yeah. No, I agree.
What's going on? Rightfully so.
I agree. I do think every single nominee, could have won Game of the Year, but I think this is the very first time that a Game of the Year winner won Game of the Year. And all across the internet, forums, Reddit, Twitter that I've gone on, everybody's just going like, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. There's no, this should have won,
this should have won.
There is some of that.
Yeah, there's very little vitriol and negative response to it.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No. A lot of it's either apathetic or supportive.
Yeah. Joseph Ferris going up and giving us another banger of a speech. Yeah. So yeah, no, I love that guy. But it was a fine VGA, but there's still, fluff and does have award problems. It is an entertainment piece for the night, I feel. So you kind of have to take that into account. But I do wish that they would stop going through awards like it was a ticket machine, spitting out tickets, because there were some like best musical score, best soundtrack, best,
score and soundtrack went to Near Replicant.
Yeah, Near Replicant. Great soundtrack. But yeah, they just, winner was this. All right, next thing, so it's kind of disappointing.
There are a few that I'd be okay with that they just like did in clusters, like creator, esports team, esports like coach.
Not that
not that they aren't important,
right?
But those ones are very niche.
Very
that you could
niche.
rapid fire them in one section. It could be the esports like section, and you just go through them real quick.
You are absolutely correct on that. No negativity towards those players and streamers, but that is not generally what this industry is about. So they help. God, I'm fumbling my words, but you get what I mean.
They're a big part of the industry, but I feel the Video Game Awards is more based towards the actual games and the people involved in the games themselves.
Exactly. So, but besides that, we are moving on to our next news story. Ubisoft is releasing NFTs into Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now, Ubisoft is the very first gaming company to release NFTs into their games. And it is a very disliked video, and their announcement video, I think, got over 95% dislikes. So they took it down. but they still released it. They're calling it Ubisoft Quartz, or at least the service that they're providing. Players will be able to earn specific NFTs for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Ubisoft calls them digits instead of NFTs. But the first example is essentially just a simple helmet with like a face covering, and the eye holes are blocked out. You played Metal Gear and the Genome Soldiers, basically the same type of deal. Players will need to perform certain tasks in the game in order to retrieve this award, such as playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint for over 600 hours. And you can claim it for free. I don't think
I played Ghost Recon Breakpoint for over 600 minutes.
I haven't played it. So.
I don't think I haven't played it for 600. I don't think I even played it either.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I think the last one I played was Ghostlands.
Yeah, you're right. Whatever.
Wildlands.
Wild Ghostlands.
Wild Ghostlands of the Breaking Point
in Mexico. But yeah, so if you play 600 hours, you can redeem this NFT, which is. I don't like NFTs. None of us like NFTs. No. But if I'm not mistaken, you usually buy an NFT in hopes of return on investment.
You buy in air quotes NFT.
Yes. In hopes for return on investment to sell in the future. Or
just to flaunt and then make TikTok videos about complaining about people screenshotting your NFT.
Who don't get it, yes.
Yeah.
And they get made fun of by Keanu Reeves. But yeah, no, so you earn this NFT but by playing 600, what is I don't understand the goal here, but maybe that's why I'm not into it. I don't even know why I want to discuss this. It's news.
I don't understand the point of them putting them in Breakpoint.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is microtransactions are already technically NFTs. Like you buy it and you keep it, and no one else can have it. You can't even resell it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's lost on me their addition of NFTs, like this version of NFTs in their game.
I fully admit that it is a discussion that I have no knowledge on, and I really don't want to have knowledge on.
Yeah.
But I got to report this just because it's wild. 600 hours in Breakpoint. I think the only game I've ever spent 600 hours on, not even 600 hours. I think the most I've ever spent on a game was 300 hours, and that's Destiny.
I've definitely spent more than 1,000 hours in a game before.
You got a laundry list of RTS games and strategy games.
Oh god, I probably have broken the 2,500 hour mark with Rome Total War, and that's just because I had it before Steam was a thing.
Oh yeah,
so
back when there was nothing to do.
Back when it was just a shortcut on my desktop because I installed it with the disc.
The CD-ROM. Yeah, wow, that's incredible. But so there you go. If you want a free NFT from Ubisoft, 600 hours of
get your free NFT.
Sure.
Just go leave your...
How the hell would you even resell it? Whatever. Anyways, Activision-Blizzard has sent out a memo essentially asking employees not to unionize. Last week, Brian Bulletow, the current chief administrative officer for Activision-Blizzard, sent a letter to employees. This was in response to the fifth straight day of work stoppage after the layoff of Raven software workers and the creation of a strike fund to support those who have walked out and are on strike. The letter in itself doesn't directly ask to not unionize, but it has very specific sentences to try and deter the thought of even unionizing. It reaffirms that Activision supports workers' rights to choose whether to join a union, but also states that, quote, "We believe that direct dialogue between management and employees is essential to the success of Activision-Blizzard," end quote. According to Bulletow, the best way forward is to, quote, transparent dialogue between leaders and employees that we can act upon quickly, end quote. The letter also tries to paint the CWA, which is the Communication Workers of America, as the bad guys. The letter states, quote, "As you make this decision, we ask only that you take time to consider the consequence of your signature on the binding legal document presented to you by the CWA. That means your ability to negotiate all your own working conditions will be turned over to the CWA." I think that's what a union is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
They negotiate the working conditions on behalf of the masses that work in said industry.
Yeah.
crazy how that works,
isn't it? So with this, I mean, we already knew that Activision-Blizzard were the villains, but now this is just
we're getting to cartoon villain.
Yeah,
territory.
absolutely, a mustache twirling villainy. Obviously, speaking to higher ups hasn't worked for years and years, and this is just another.
At this point, employees know that HR exists to protect the company, not the employees.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't talk to them. So their
Right.
only option, well, they have two options: put up with it or unionize.
Right.
And they're asking people to put up with it.
Right, and they're not. I hope they don't. I hope they unionize.
They should unionize.
Yeah, absolutely. And this also comes on the heels of consistently asking the board to remove Bobby Kotick as their CEO, which, you know, their only response has been no.
Which at this point, it just needs to fall to Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft just to pull the trigger and start pulling
support.
Yeah, support, just pulling games from the store, because there's precedent has been set for it by Sony by pulling Cyberpunk 2077 from the store.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've already removed the banners for Call of Duty, didn't
Call of
they?
Duty Vanguard, I think so.
Yeah, I think was it Sony that did it?
Probably Sony. If it did, it didn't happen for very long, because I think there was a week last week where Call of Duty was on sale for like, you know, so they had like Call of Duty on sale or whatnot. But, you know, they really needs to be a bigger blow than what we've seen so far. And I think that once the spearheaded, like you said, are Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. But even bigger is I think that just the workers need to come together and finally unionize. It's been way too long, and we've had way more than enough examples of things not working to justify this move. So I really hope that things get through and these guys can unionize, because
workers need to hit them high and the big three need to hit them low and force Bobby Kotick out.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I, for one, am tired of hearing terrible, terrible stories, and even more and more in the last week come out from, you know, people who go to Jason.
And the longer that Kotick works for Activision-Blizzard, just the more protected he is from a lot of litigation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he has Activision-Blizzard on his side.
Yeah, and apparently some sort of loyalty. And then they, of course, we reported a week or two ago that they were going to make their own little board to try to fix all the problems comprised of themselves.
Yeah.
Which that isn't going to work either. So contact the CWA, get to unionizing. That is it for the news.
Yes.
No, it's a little short, but we are going to move on to the Tid Bits.
A man discusses the news, but not like the big news, the little news. Little bit. This is the Tid Bits.
I got some really quick tidbits, but I do have NPDs as well. We're going to go ahead and do those this week because we are fairly... We're blazing.
Episode.
We're blazing, you know. So let's start off with, by today, Sony has announced new colors for the PS5 controllers and faceplates. I know, how exciting. Coming next year, the new DualSense controllers are Nova Pink, Starlight Blue, and Galactic Purple. They all look very cool, by the way. I don't know if you've seen them.
I haven't seen them yet.
They're very pretty.
Is the blue one like mid-shade, dark, or light blue?
There's two blue ones. There's a very dark blue one. That's
that
really
the midnight
cool.
one?
That is the midnight
Okay.
one. Or Sorry, no, that's the Galactic Purple. It kind of looks blue, but it's purple. And then there's Starlight Blue, which is kind of like a sky-ish blue. It looks very nice. And the Nova Pink is pink, of course. New face plates are Midnight Black, Cosmic Red, Nova Pink, Starlight Blue, and Galactic Purple. So the same three controller colors, 3 of them will be face plates, and then 2 more will be added on face plates as well.
Cool.
The DualSense controllers are all priced at $75 each. Very expensive. It's actually $5 more expensive than the not colored ones because they can. And then faceplates are priced at $55 each. And those are the replaceable sides.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can look at Tyler's PS5, but those things are very cool. But if you remember, Sony actually filed a cease and desist to another company, I think it was called D-Brands, who was making PS5 plates, like third-party ones. Sony sent them a cease and desist about a month and a half ago. And then, of course, Sony's coming out with their own faceplates.
Yeah.
So they had this in the cards all the time, I think, maybe.
Do you think we're going to see like a resurgence, like with with the 360, you had companies that were making faceplates and then like stickers. Or do you think we're going to see a resurgence for that for the
I hope so.
PS5?
Yeah, I hope so. Those things were rad, man.
Yeah, they really were.
They were cool. Yeah. The problem with the 360 one is that it only did the faceplate. The rest of the console would be like you'd have this really cool multicolored faceplates, and then it's just white all around. So it just kind of with this, thankfully, since both sides are that all white, I mean, anything would look good with it because the middle is just black. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome.
Looking forward to seeing where this goes. From like outside of Sony. Sony can do whatever they want. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Having the different colors, cool. Customization.
Mm-hmm.
But having people just throw up art onto their Sony or onto their PlayStation is going to be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be very nice, especially if they get like really cool decals and stuff like that. You could probably already find some on Etsy and stuff. So 3D printing is not hard anymore. Anyways, Heroes of Newerth is shutting down servers. The often forgotten third MOBA, Heroes of Newerth, will stay online until June 20th, 2022. Yeah. When I first heard about MOBAs, it was League of Legends, it was Heroes of Newerth, and it was Dota.
Yeah.
Those guys were the ones that ruled. And unfortunately, Heroes of Newerth was always the third place one, so to speak. And I've had this discussion before on the podcast, but in genres, there's usually like enough room for 3. Mm-hmm. If you try to make any more, it kind of gets rocky and no one can really grab enough shares. But Heroes of Newerth was always the third one.
Well, I mean, there was Heroes of Newerth and then Heroes of the Storm.
Well, right.
So I think they were battling for that third position.
Right. And Heroes of the Storm kind of just won by default because of Blizzard characters. But of course, Heroes of the Storm has its own share of problems along with the Blizzard problems. But yeah, Heroes of Newerth decided to cut their losses, so to speak. But they are shutting down servers as of June 20th, 2022 next year. So it's unfortunate. End of an era. On to the NPDs. Remember, NPDs are given to us by Matt Piscatella, verbatim, over on Twitter. He is the head of the NPD group, gives us these numbers every month. So, November 2021 consumer spending across video game hardware, content, and accessories fell. It fell this month by 10%. Yes, when compared to a year ago. $6.3 billion. To $6.3 billion. Year-to-date consumer spending totaled $52.9 billion, an increase of 9% when compared to the same period in 2020. Now, before I go any further, remember, we have a very large supply issue with all 3 consoles and accessories. So I think this contributes to the 10%.
Oh, probably, yeah.
To 10% loss. No one's in trouble. Like, nobody's not making money because we've been hitting records every month since I've been doing NPDs.
I was going to say, this is the first month I can think of where it hasn't been a new, hasn't been an increase from this time last year.
Right. And then if you remember, I brought the news that the Series S was the best-selling console of Black Friday compared to all the other ones. So it is some strange times right now. Hardware dollar sales fell 38% compared to a year ago, leading the market to an overall 10% decline year over year. All categories of spending decreased when compared to November 2020. November video game hardware dollar sales declined 38% when compared to November 2020 to $883 million. November hardware spending fell to its lowest total since November 2016 at $759 million, driven by a lack of available console inventory.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Switch was the best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollars for November 2020.
That Black Friday sale.
As well as 2021 year-to-date. I think if I remember correctly, I didn't write this down. I think 36 out of the last 38 months, Switch has been top.
Wow.
Yeah, Nintendo. On to the obvious stuff. Call of Duty Vanguard debuted as November's best-selling game, instantly becoming the second best-selling game of 2021 to date. It's tiring saying that, by the way. This is the 14th consecutive year a Call of Duty game has ranked as the best-selling game of its release month. Wow, 14 years of Call of Duty. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's 14 Call of Duties.
Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, World at War.
Black Ops.
Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare. Cold War. Modern Warfare Remake,
Yeah.
12. Vanguard, 13. What was the 14th? I'm missing something.
I don't know. I haven't kept up. with
Modern Warfare Remake. No.
No. I think you already said that.
No, sorry. The Modern Warfare 4 Remaster. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't think that one's it, though. I'm missing one. We're missing one. Anyways. Battlefield 2042 launched as the second best-selling game of November, ranking as the sixth best-selling game year to date. Battlefield 2042 is the second best-selling game of November on both PS and Xbox platforms. Forza Horizon 5 set a new Forza franchise launch month sales record, including both Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport titles. That's a lot to say. While ranking as the fourth best-selling game of November 2021, Forza Horizon 5 is the third best-selling game on Xbox platforms this month. Shin Megami Tensei 5 received the highest launch month dollar sales in any Shin Meg title in history. Shin Meg 5, I'm just going to call it Shin Meg, ranked as the 16th best-selling game in November 2021, while also ranking 6th on Nintendo platforms. They're highlighting this game because this is one of those like really, really niche Japanese RPGs that's kind of gaining like steam. And
that was on
so.
The Game Awards. It was a contender for best RPG.
Yes. Yeah, so it's very niche and very difficult. Like, you got to know what you're getting into with that game. But anyways, November saw year-over-year spending grow close to 11%, in line with October's performance, and was the 9th consecutive month where the U.S. consumer expenditure in mobile games was greater than $2 billion. The next two stats are going to be all mobile-based, so just letting you know. November is the 10th month of 2021 that has exceeded $2 billion in mobile game spending. Only 2 months in 2020 surpassed that mark. November 2021 spending on video game accessories fell 20% when compared to a year ago to $258 million. This is the lowest total reached in a November month since 2017 at $234 million. Year-to-date sales reached $2.1 billion, gaining 4% when compared to a year ago. Then November 2021 dollar sales of steering wheel accessories more than doubled year-ago levels. The Logitech G920 driving force racing wheel for Xbox and PC was the month's best-selling steering wheel. No doubt, thanks to Forza.
Yeah.
So sorry, I made a mistake. That was the only mobile. There was more, but I decided to forego it because mobile. Yeah. So that is the NPDs for this month. That is the tidbits for this month. And do you have anything to add?
I do not.
All right. Well, that is also the podcast for this week. We should be back next week
with Tyler.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Provided nothing happens. Remember, he is not dead. Apologize for saying that last week. We just wanted to have some fun.
You're just joking around.
So for tonight, thank you. That is all. Have a good one.
Goodbye.